Hey friend! Welcome to the Branding with Jade podcast. I'm Jade, also known as the Aussie Adventuress, and I left the high-flying corporate world to chase my dreams and build an online business. Now, my biggest passion is teaching you how to get paid to be yourself doing what you love. If you want my secrets on all things personal branding, marketing, entrepreneurship, and making money doing what you love, then lovely, you are in the right place. Let's go. Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of the Branding with Jade podcast. And I'm really looking forward to today's topic because it's one that is a bit creative, it's a bit fun, and it really helps you to get excited about your future and visualizing what you want to achieve for the year. And that is vision boards. So today I want to talk all things vision boards. What are they? How do they work? And how do you create one that actually will work for you? And I'm going to compare the one I created this year to the one I created last year and talk you through why this one is a lot different and how you can actually create one that's going to work for you. So when you start an online business, you enter this new realm where you start looking at life and the world a bit differently, and you probably hear about things like you can manifest anything, you can create the life you desire, your life is in your hands, all of this kind of stuff, because you're opening your mind to the different possibilities. And people that start their own business and decide to build personal brands are generally a bit more inquisitive, and you're a bit more open-minded, and you look at the world differently to people that are still closed off to the idea of running their own business and that are still working in the 9 to 5 and are content with that lifestyle and haven't really opened their minds to different things. So to a lot of people, a vision board is a bit of a woo-woo concept, and they're like, oh, that doesn't work. But to those of us in business, it's something we hear about regularly, and it's a really fun topic that I really like to talk about. And being the start of a new year, start of a new decade, all of that kind of stuff, I wanted to touch on it early on because I think it's something that you should do to really set yourself up for a magical year. And yes, I could have spoken about it in January, but I only just did my vision board, and so I wanted to do mine before I actually spoke about the topic because I wanted to talk you through it and show you mine and all of that kind of stuff. So, but let's just get stuck in. Firstly, what is a vision board and how do they work? So basically what a vision board is it's a sacred space that displays what you want to achieve and basically helps you to bring it to life. Because what you continually focus on expands, and this enables you to create everything you desire. So you can literally be, do, and have absolutely anything you want. You just need to understand that it's your mind that controls your reality, and it's the frequencies that you emit that attract certain things to you. So in order to get a vision board right, it's all about the feelings. And when you create a vision board and you put it somewhere where you'll see it often, what happens is you end up doing short visualization exercises throughout the day without even realizing. Every time you look at your board, you're visualizing that for yourself. You're picturing a life where you have all these things that you desire and you're feeling these amazing feelings. And when you emit that out into the universe, you're emitting this powerful frequency. And the more you visualize and focus on these things, the more the universe starts to deliver and allows you to attract it into your life. So that is what vision boards do. And that is how they work. It's all about you visualizing the life you desire and picturing you in that life now so that you're emitting that frequency out into the universe so it knows to deliver these things to you. And one thing I did listen to on a podcast this morning, which I think is an important thing to note, is when you look at the vision board and you think about these feelings and you think about what it is you want, something that I've never done before and I'm going to start doing after listening to this podcast is when you ask for these things and you set the intentions, you ask for this or something better. So I used to just ask for the thing and end there, and then that was it. It's that. And then that kind of sets limits, and it sets you in this spot where that's the highest point you can go, and you can't exceed that because you're not telling the universe that you would be happy with something better. You're just telling the universe, this is what I want. Whereas if you ask for this or something better, then you could absolutely exceed your expectations. So say I had on my vision board, I want to earn $20,000 a month. To me, that's something that I know is possible. It's realistic to me because it's something I've achieved in the past. So it's something I can quite easily visualize, and I can quite easily picture myself doing because I've done it before. If I was to put 100,000 on there in a month, it's not something I've done before. It's something I know other people have done. It's something I know is possible, but it's harder for me to imagine it happening for myself right now because it's not something I've ever experienced. 100,000 a year, yeah, because that's what I earned in the bank. That was my base salary, and I got commissions and bonuses on top of that. So that's something I can visualize myself doing. But 100,000 a month is a little bit outside of what I've done. And so for me to put that on my vision board, I wouldn't be able to feel the feelings that it would feel to achieve that. Whereas me saying I would be happy with 20,000 a month or better will tell the universe 20,000 is a happy point, but you can deliver better to her. So if she starts to attract even better amounts, that's great because that's what she's asked for. So that's the difference between just settling on one specific thing or telling the universe that you could have better as well. And the example on this podcast episode this morning was that a lady had visualized to get like $2,000 or something, and what she ended up with was six figures. She helped these people sell their house through a messy situation. That she was just like a personal friend helping them, and then in the end, because they were so grateful for how she helped them, they gifted her some money from the sales. So that was something that she never expected. She didn't know how she was going to manifest that income into her life, but she did it because she just asked for this or something better. So back on the topic of vision boards, how do you actually create one that actually works? The key is to focus on feelings and make it super personal. And this is where the good comparison between my last year's one and my this year's one come into play. So, and I'm going to put pictures of it in the show notes so you can see the real difference between last year's and this year's. I would have loved to have included one from my previous years as well, but that's back in my home in Perth, and I thought I had a picture of it, but I don't. I must have deleted it because that one was also very personal and lots of stuff on that one came to life, whereas the stuff on last year's one didn't, because it was just not personal to me. And when I looked at it, I didn't get excited. I didn't feel anything from it. It was more a vision board based on ego rather than my higher self and my heart center. And so it's very different. And this is why it's really important to be in tune with how you want to feel. What kind of things have made you feel really great in the past that you would like to bring those feelings back? And it's really important to be prepared for your vision board as well. The reason mine didn't work last year is because I just got random pictures out of magazines. I didn't put anything on there that was personal to me. It didn't really evoke any feelings because I was just clutching at straws with what I had in the magazines. I didn't really have the things that I wanted to put on there. And so it wasn't really personal to me. And there were words and kind of some things on there that kind of felt exciting, but none of it was what I really wanted. I had like fancy boats and fancy cars and these huge fancy houses and big designer labels and all of that kind of stuff. And yes, eventually I would love to have that kind of stuff, but it's all materialistic. It's all coming from a place of ego where I just wanted power and status and to show people that I've made it. but they're not things that really make me feel good deep down inside. They're not things that really evoke great feelings in me. And so what you really want to do is focus on the feelings. Focus on what it is that really brings you happiness, that lights you up, that makes you feel incredible. Think about times in your life where you have felt most alive and put those kind of things on your vision board. So my vision board for this year is very different. It's got a lot of pictures of my friends, pictures of my family, pictures of me and Freddie, pictures of when I've been traveling, when I've been really successful in my business, working around the world from my laptop in like really cool locations, when I've got pictures of the income that I made in my previous affiliate business where I know that that was possible. I've got like they're all personal pictures of times where I've felt really good and things that I want to attract back into my life, things that I want to do better than, things that I know I've been able to do, I want to do more of, and I want to get better at. I've got photos of my team that I built, people that I've helped quit their jobs, build personal brands, coached, all of that kind of stuff. And then I've got pictures of coaches I want to work with, courses I want to invest in, all things that actually have a deeper meaning to me and actually really light me up and light a fire in me when I look at it. So I'm obsessed with my vision board this year, and every time I look at it, I just light up because I just picture myself in these positions and think, oh my God, this life is amazing, and I'm so excited that I get to create this. So these are really exciting things to put on my vision board because I get excited over that. I haven't seen my family and friends in over a year because I haven't been back to Perth since I went back for my sister's wedding at this time last year. And so when I look at that and think about seeing them, that excites me. That's a feeling that really gets me fired up and lights me up and makes me want to work hard to make it happen. And traveling the world with Freddie, those are things that really light me up. So it's going to push you, it's going to drive you when you've got things on there that are actually meaningful to you compared to things that don't really mean a lot. Last year when I looked at my vision board, it didn't mean anything to me. It just had boats and cars and all things that didn't really give me a deeper sense of purpose. And so it didn't make me feel anything when I looked at it because it wasn't personal to me. So that is something really important to think about. And if you're struggling, then I've got some questions that you might want to consider when creating your own vision board. So things like, what position do you want to be in? What do you want to be earning? What would your life look like if you were to hit your business goals and be earning your desired income? What brings you joy? What do you care about the most? What are your top values? What feels purposeful to you and allows you to cultivate and use your unique skills? What needs the most attention so you can move forward in a positive direction? What are the next steps to get you from where you are to where you want to be? What obstacles may keep you from following your dreams? What do you need to let go of? In what areas or ways do you most want to grow? What have you always wanted to do but never had the courage to do? What do you wish you had more time for? What photos, words, and symbols come to mind that inspire you toward the life you want for yourself? What are some of your favorite quotes? And, of course, how do you want to feel? When you think about these things and you focus on those questions, you're coming from a place from your heart. You're coming from a place of something that's deep and meaningful to you. And it's really important to plan and be organized, print pictures, lay them all out, get them ready before you go and just randomly stick things on. Get organized and then plan it all out and make sure that what's on there is most relevant and ignites the strongest feelings in you. So once you've got all that and you're ready, you've got your pictures ready, you know what you want to put on your vision board, you've planned it out, you've thought about your goals, you've mapped out what it is you want to achieve, then it's time to just do it. So what do you need to create your vision board? Obviously, you'll need some kind of board. You can use like thick cardboard, or you can use a pin board. I do like using the pin boards because they come with, like, I got a really nice one from Kiki K a few years ago, but you can also get very similar ones from Kmart now, and they just have nice white borders, so it looks nice and neat. And then you can just pin everything on there, and it's good because if you mess up, you can just unpin it and move things around, so it's not as final as glue. So if it's your first time vision boarding, or you're someone that changes your mind a lot, then using a pin board is good. And it's good because the pins look nice if you get fancy ones like I do. I always get multicolored ones and gold and silvers and stuff, so it looks fancy. Um, and then but otherwise cardboard and glue is also good, and that's what I used this time because I felt like doing it differently this time. So obviously if you're using a pin board, then you need pins as well. You need magazines, photos, quotes, scissors, glue, and crafty stuff. If you're someone like bold and big and you like embellishing things, then go for that kind of stuff. You'll see that I've got glitter all over mine this year. I've got stickers, I've got fancy words, like embellished things that use sequins and that kind of stuff, because that's me. And when I look at that, that sparks joy in me as well, because that's the kind of thing that I love. It reminds me of festivals, and festivals are one of the places where I feel most alive and happiest because I love dancing to music and just that feeling of freedom. So when I look at that and I see the glitter and the sparkles and all of that kind of stuff, it really brings those positive feelings to me of things that I love. Other things you could consider putting on there is things like souvenirs or trinkets that you've collected from places where you felt really good. Say you've been on a retreat and you really felt amazing, or like those times when you go to retreats and you write little postcards to yourself. If you've got something like that, you could put that on there because then that sparks feelings for you. For me, I want to host my own retreats eventually. So putting things on there from retreats I've been to reminds me of how good I felt there and how I want to bring that feeling to other people. Souvenirs from travels, from events, from places where you've really had amazing times. All of these kind of things help you to really spark those powerful feelings. And then once you've got everything you need, it's time to just get it done. So how do you do it? You want to allow yourself 1 to 2 hours with no distractions, a clear, calm, quiet house where you can just focus, set the right mood, turn off the TV and turn on some nice calming music that makes you feel good and lights you up. Light some candles, some incense, make yourself a cup of tea or a glass of wine if that's more your nature. And I even this time I smudged the house. So I have a sage stick and I did a big smudging of my house to clear the energy and bring a new positive energy and open it up for allowing in abundance. And then lay everything out before you start. So I cleared my coffee table and I put everything on there. You don't want to start gluing or pinning until you know what works and what doesn't. I kind of put my things into different piles based on, like, these are things with family, this is friends, this is me and Freddie, this is what I want to achieve in my business, this is my personal feelings about myself. These are all the quotes, and then I matched the quotes up with the different areas of my life, and then I started like laying it out, and then I started gluing. So that way I had things, I knew everything I wanted to fit was going to fit. I knew where things would need to be pieced together, maybe cut out a bit differently, and that kind of stuff. And then decide what kind of style you want to do it in. Are you somebody that needs white space to have a calm, clear mind? Or are you somebody that likes everything to overlap so that everything's close? That's the way I like it, because I like to feel like everything's filled in and I know how everything's going to go, and I just like the look of it. I don't like the white, clear space. I like it kind of like an Instagram feed where everything's just piled nicely. And I always loved mosaics and collages in school, so maybe that's why I love that style. But I like it like that. Some people think that's cluttered, but sorry, my voice is going funny. Some people think that's cluttered, so if that's you, then allow the white space. Do what feels right for you. And then once you're finished, place it somewhere where you can see it so you can constantly be reminded of those feelings. So mine's in my bedroom, so the first thing I see when I go to bed is my vision board straight directly above my bed, in front of me. And when I wake up, I see it. So it's constantly on my mind. And then every time I go in my bedroom, I see it. Another good place to put it is above your desk. I tend not to work from my desk very often. I'm one of those naughty girls that prefers to sit on the couch or the kitchen counter and things like that. So putting it on my desk, I won't actually see it as often. So that's why I've gone with putting it in my bedroom, because I know I see it there more. And that way I'm constantly being reminded of those feelings. And when I lived back in Perth, I had it in my bedroom as well. Same again, it was like right directly in front of my bed, so I could always see it. And I think that's the difference as well. The one I had back then, it had all personal stuff on it too. It had photos of me with my family and friends, me when I looked a certain way, me when I was doing certain things, and it was a very personal one as well. And so it's very interesting to see that things on that one actually came to fruition because it was personal. It did evoke certain feelings in me. And last year's one just did nothing for me because it didn't have any meaning. It was just random pictures from a magazine. So I do think that's something to consider, is think about what you're actually putting on there and does it have personal meaning for you. Sometimes printing out photos that actually have meaning to you is a lot more powerful. And then how often should you redo it? Basically whenever you feel called to, but I do like to think that it's a nice thing to do at the start of the year. You're in that fresh frame of mind, you're excited, you're ready to smash goals. It's a nice way to set the tone for that year. Now, obviously, I've waited until February. I didn't do it in January, but it's still the start of the year. So it works. And then mostly I start fresh each year. I do a new one, but if you wanted to, you could also update your existing one. So especially if you've done it on a pin board, you could just remove stuff and then add new stuff on there. And if you did leave a lot of white space on yours, you could update it throughout the year and add new things to it, remove things that don't feel aligned, all of that kind of stuff. Whatever feels right for you. But the best thing is to just focus on feelings. Remember, the deeper the feelings, the more excited and happy and successful and all of that kind of stuff you feel when you look at it, the more you're going to attract that into your life, because you're emitting those feelings more frequently out into the universe, and it's going to deliver it back to you. So that is how a vision board works. And I hope, if you haven't done one yet for the year, I hope this inspires you to do one, because they really are very powerful. And I would love, if you do one, I would love for you to share it in the comments on the show notes or on the Instagram. Oh, you can't share on Instagram. Share it to your Instagram stories and tag me so we can share it and I can get excited for your vision and cheer you on, because I do think it's a really beautiful thing to do. So that's it for this week. I really hope you enjoyed this episode. As of next week, I'm going full on branding mode again. So I've got lots of exciting branding topics to talk about. I've been reading lots of books on branding again. It was funny because I was listening to another podcast episode yesterday from the Mind Your Business podcast with James Wedmore, who's like one of my favorite podcasts. And he was talking to the Manifestation Babe, and they were talking about how to attract what you want into your life. And she was speaking about following your curiosity and just going where your curiosity leads you. And it will sometimes lead you in unexpected places, and just follow it and see what comes of it. And it was quite funny because yesterday I was in the library printing off the pictures to put on my vision board, and I wanted to find some books just on like business books or anything that was interesting or felt related to the topic of manifestation or that kind of thing. But I was walking around and I couldn't find anything, and then my printing finished and I went home. But I came home and one of the pages was missing. The pictures hadn't actually transferred onto Canva or whatever, and then I hadn't emailed the page, so I had to go back to the library. And on the second time, this book just, I don't even know if it was there in the morning. I think it magically appeared there in the afternoon because I did not see it in the morning. But this book appeared there called I Am My Brand. And that's exactly what I talk about all the time. And I was like, I want to read that. And I've never actually borrowed a book from this library. I didn't even have I've got a library card for my printing, but I've never borrowed books before. The last time I've ever borrowed a book from a library was back when I was a kid, and my mum used to take me there after school, because ever since then I've just bought my books. But I was really called to this book, and I had that message in my head saying, follow your curiosity. So I picked it up and I checked it out and I've started reading it, and it is such an awesome book. It's got all these exercises to do around branding, and it's just really, really in depth. And there's so much good stuff that I want to share with you guys. So much stuff that I've spoken about in my courses before, and all of this awesome stuff. So lots and lots of branding content to come. And if there's anything specific you would like me to talk about, then do let me know in the comments on Instagram or in a review. Please do, because I will speak about what you want to know about. I think it's important to cater to you guys. You're listening, so I want you to get the most out of these episodes. So let me know what you want to hear. And don't forget, if you have enjoyed the episode or any other episodes, please do leave a review, because that really helps to spread the word and show iTunes and Apple Podcasts and whatever that you guys like it and that it will be shown to more people. So I would be forever grateful, and I love reading them out on the episodes. It really excites me getting to call out people that have listened and to share your names and businesses, because I think that's exciting. So thank you again if you've listened. I really hope you enjoyed this episode, and I look forward to speaking to you again next week.